Hello, everybody.
Great meeting.
Hello.
Hello. Fabulous meeting last night.
Yeah, I was going to have Matt Damon do the rest of the meeting today, but he wouldn't cooperate. You know, some people are just difficult, right?
He's kind of busy. Yeah, he has a lot on his plate.
No, yeah, I'm with you. I thought last night was a lot of fun. I thought testimonials were great. The energy was great, right? And I have a surprise announcement today that we've talked about, the co-host link, being able to live during a meeting, make someone else the co-host so they could be interactive.
Yeah.
It is live and active.
Oh, good.
Today.
Awesome.
And the way you do it, it's really simple. Like, when you click on the people section and you see all the participants, and if you click on any of the three dots, you'll see all those things. You can send someone a message, you can mute them, you can block them, you can kick them out, right? And now there's one that says you can make a co-host. And all you do is push the button and they're a co-host. And so, Rachel, I'm going to do that with you.
Okay.
I'm going to make you a co-host.
I love it.
Okay. And now you should have a message that says accept co-host. And now you have the share website button just popped up. So now I can leave.
Can I click on it?
Yep. Yeah, we did a highly technical term. Got it.
Because I'm going to have Gary. He's going to co-host a meeting with me tomorrow.
Well, now you can do it in more ways than you imagine, right?
I love it. That's great.
Yep. And what's also nice, it's hard for me to show you because if I show you in where I log in, I have no guests in, so I can't make someone a co-host, right? So let's say, for instance, you made Gary a co-host, but you want to grab the screen back, right? Gary, I want it back, right? But you don't want to go bother deactivate him as a co-host. You'll see a little button that says stop as the host, and that disconnects him from sharing, but doesn't disconnect him from being a co-host. And so you can grab the control back. And then if you want to, the reason you would deactivate him from being a co-host is you're going to assign it to somebody else because you don't get assigned it one person at a time.
So wait a minute. So let's say you're in the meeting. Instead of, those where you share, you put up the website or something like that. What do you do?
Right.
With those three dots next to it? That's where click on that goes to co-host, right?
So, I always click up people and it says participants.
Mm-hmm.
And so like right now I'm looking at all the participants, right? And so I see your name, and right next to your name is three dots. When I click those three dots, I got all these things I can do with you. One of them now is make a co-host.
Okay.
Or remove you as a co-host, like I'm going to remove you now. Okay. You're no longer a co-host. Sorry. Kick to the curb. Okay. And now if I want to, right, I'm going to make Gary co-host. Because I know Gary likes being my co-host, I know he does, right? Okay. So let me see. There's Gary, okay? And let me scroll up. And I just so Gary will now accept being a co-host. And now all of a sudden the share website button is there for Gary. And you can literally do that. Terry Marie, I'm not making you a co-host. Just so you know, I know you're going, when am I next? No, you're not getting it today.
I wanted to see what it looked like when it changed so I could print screen it.
Yeah. No,
because we don't see the other side.
Right? Yeah. And so, and then if I want to, right, I could, deactivate Gary or leave Gary there and just take control of the meeting back at any time. So it's that easy. So let's say, for instance, right now, I'm going to share a website.
Okay.
Right. So right now, I'm sharing the website. I'm in control, but Gary's still my co-host, right? So he's not in control. It's all me, right? But now I'm going to stop sharing, and Gary could bring up any website he wants. And once Gary, go ahead, pick a site, bring up any website.
So I can just go to share and then bring up a website?
Correct. Just as if you're the one who hosted the meeting instead of me.
Okay, I'll bring this one up. I don't know if you'll recognize this one or not, but let me pull it up, see if you know who this might be.
Was
Okay. And what's nice about this, and Gary has all the controls, right? He can make it standard, he can make it interactive. But let's say, for instance, Gary, oh, I didn't want you to share that site. Gary, in fact, I'm going to take control from you. I hit stop. I just disconnected Gary. He's still a co-host. See, it says he's still a co-host, so he could do it again, as opposed to me deactivating him as a co-host. I've just got a button where I can grab control and bring up the site that I want. Okay? Pretty cool, isn't it?
It's pretty commanding.
Right.
And so here's where it goes from cool to being important, right? Kind of that perspective. So like last night's a good example, right? First few minutes of the meeting, I'm going, where's my Wi-Fi? And I'm having a terrible moment, right? It's like, oh my God, I'm the host. What am I going to do, right? At any time I wanted to, I could have made Harry my co-host. So if my Wi-Fi did completely blank out, he has all the functionalities to share a website, mute people, block participants, as if it's his meeting. So when we go international, and we're in places like Mexico and the Philippines, or somebody's logging in from their parking lot and they're hosting the meeting, right? They could literally just pass it off to someone else, no matter what their Wi-Fi is. So the truth is, that to me was the number one feature, in the sense that no meeting now can ever be ruined in that perspective, right? Because I have bad Wi-Fi. Second important feature is, my partner Dave, right? He doesn't want to share websites, right? He wants to come on and speak like he's in webinar mode, right? So when he comes in, he can have Pamela say, Pamela, you're going to run the meeting for me. I'm going to just do all the talking. You're going to mute the people. You're going to, right? So for those people, right, that are saying, I just want to talk. I don't want to know anything. Like those people who go, I'm 75 and I don't want to learn your platform. Great. You're going to have a 19-year-old kid, come on, run the meeting for you all day long, and all you do is talk, and you never have to push a button. So for Wi-Fi people, and for people, I'm saying, who don't want to learn the platform but want to use the platform, to me, it's a critical feature in that perspective, and incredibly easy to do at the touch of a button. So now again, if I stop sharing for a second here, and Suzanne, I see you raise your hand. I promise I'll get to you in a second, right? But if I share the screen, I'll show you what I mean. This is why it's a little harder for me to demo it for you, because you'll see when I share my screen and I start a meeting. It's all right. Okay, let me just start this meeting. Okay, so you see when I click on people, I'm the only one. So there's no one I can assign it to. There's no one I could share. So, but this is where you do it, right? You click on people to get access to it. And this is where, again, you mute people, you can block people, and now you'll have a button that literally says make co-host. It's that easy. But that's the only reason I can't show it to you in that perspective. But let me see if I could show it this way. A second here. Don't know if I can. Let's see if I can be creative. Let me stop sharing for a second.
So where did it
No,
say
it
make
won't-
co-host? I didn't see that. I saw where the participants, where does it say make co-host?
When you click on the name of the person with the
Okay.
3 dots on the right-hand side,
Okay, then it'll do
right?
that.
That'll give you a drop-down menu on each individual person.
Got it.
Okay.
only.
So
if
now
you're
let me
host.
just correct. So right now, for instance, so Terry, I'm going to make Terry my co-host. So otherwise she'll be mad at me. I know she will. Okay. So now Terry, you hit got it. And you're my co-host. And you see, and now I can see in your screen, it says you're a co-host. So I know you already are, right? And now you have the share a website button. You have access to mute people or participants if they're in that. And just as easily, I could then remove you as a co-host and assign it to somebody else.
So even though they're a co-host, can they speak just as much as you can? I mean, you kind of share.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Steve, it shows that
Yeah.
Gary Fink is still a co-host. as well.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't remove him, so maybe he had access. So like now, if I remove him, he's gone. You know. So I didn't know. I'm saying we'll have to test it to see if whether they told me that you couldn't do two people at the same time. So I'm not sure you can.
Well, now it shows
Now you're on
Rachel
3
and Terry
hosts.
and Terry Marie as the host. So all four of you, Rachel,
Yeah.
Jerry, and Terry Marie.
It's not showing that on my screen. It may be showing as a screen, but I don't know. But they don't have the functionality. Like Gary, you don't have the share website button now, right?
Right, correct.
Yeah. See, they're gone. Regardless of, and on my screen, it's not showing that. But obviously on the participant screen, we'll have to look at that. But
On my
let's say, for
screen, Steve,
instance,
it's showing.
yeah. But like I say, that's just a glitch on that. It's not removing it, but it does remove the functionality from it, right? So Charlie, here's it for you, Charlie. I'm going to make you a co-host. Okay. So Charlie, if you hit accept, you now have the share website button.
That's cool.
Yep. It is cool, right? But here's also the third element, right? That's kind of cool in the sense that, let's say now sorry, somebody's being noisy. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to mute. I don't know what that is. So sorry, feel free to unmute yourself to talk. And that's where I did. See, I mute people in that participant section, right? That's where my controls are. So the same place where I went to go mute somebody is where I would do this as well, right? But the other thing too now is I'm doing a demo for somebody, right? My normal demo. And so during the demo, someone's a guest, right? Someone's never been on and they go, well, how hard is it to share a website? Let me show you, right? You don't need to go log into another platform, have another perspective. So literally you could share a website and they say, what do I need to do? Type in a website. So you need to type in a website, hit the button. Now remember, it's still more impressive for them to touch the screen because when they're doing it, right, they're not experiencing it. But again, it just gives you another opportunity to be able to show that in that way, right? So that makes sense to you guys, right? So like right now, so Charlie, like you see, so the nice part is now I just removed you as a co-host. May not show on your screen, but it's showing on mine, and we'll certainly confirm that, right? So just when you thought we weren't doing anything more, right? Now, the next thing we're going to introduce, again, it's on the platform, is where you can collaborate on the same screen. So you can bring up a screen and we both have access to it. So if you're helping, let's say someone fill out the form, you'll both be looking at the screen at the same time and actually both have the functionality to touch the screen at the same time. So again, that is really a driving force for me for elderly people who can't see that well, right? And they go, could you just do this for me? Yes, I can. And actually, but we could actually do it together. So I think that'll be the last key functionality of that that can really make a difference in helping people do that in that perspective. Okay, so that's it. Okay, Suzanne, thank you for waiting for me to call on you. What question can I answer for you today? And then Gary, you come right after Suzanne. Okay, unmute yourself, Suzanne, if you're muted.
Okay, so I noticed I was on a call today, and I think you did change a few things with the speaker and the person. But what happened is the person was like in a small box, and then the speaker comes on, and then it goes back and forth, and it's very distracting.
Yeah, sometimes that's the active speaker, right? We'll do that when there's a small number of people. Like you notice when we have a lot of people here, it's not, right? But when it's one-to-one, that's a tweak that we have to do. But you can also try to change your view. But yeah, I agree with you that the active speaker is a little too active sometimes. So there's a button that we have in version 1 that we're doing is where you can pin it. It's called pin. Oh. And then that won't happen. But we just still have to bring that feature over. But so I would look at that as a relatively, so like in the middle of everybody's screen, sometimes you'll see 3, if you click on Gary, for instance, you'll see 3 dots in the middle of the screen. You can, if you click on Gary, or anybody, and then there'll be a button that says pin, so you can do that on yourself as well, and then they won't flip back and forth.
So
we're gonna get
that
that
one's
done.
in effect right now. You can do that.
No, I'm saying to you, we can do it in version 1. You can't do it in version 2, but that's going to be a quick fix, so it'll be there soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Gary, you're up next, and then Santa.
Sure. I had a prospect today that actually signed in, but she had a question about doing presentations with Zoom and being able to control the sound. Can you from your perspective on what Zoom offers, what is she talking about, and how does that pertain to what we can or may not be able to do? And that's one of a couple of questions.
I don't think she's talking about it in terms, and maybe I'm wrong, right? I'm guessing, speculating, right? She's not talking about it in terms of the live presentation. I think she's talking about it maybe in terms of recording. When you're recording, I believe in Zoom, is like every single person has their own audio track, right? And so I think you have it's fairly sophisticated, right? In that sense, that if you're looking to do evergreen replays, you have more options in the recording section. That's just something we haven't addressed or tackled in that way. I can't imagine what she's talking about in terms of a live meeting. What is an audio option that she could be talking about?
Okay. I think she was talking about actually doing a presentation, controlling the music and the quality of the sound and whether we had controls like that. So I'd never heard that before. So I didn't know if that was.
Yeah. I'm sure Zoom is more advanced than we are at this point, because we just haven't focused on any of that. Right. Something we'll certainly look at in the future. Like I said, for me, it's a bigger issue on like people who do podcasts. Yeah. Like if you use a technology like Riverside, is a webinar platform that was built for podcasts, right? And so they have a lot of cool things that I wouldn't pretend that we could replace Riverside tomorrow and have a better experience. Yeah. That's what I meant about tackle. When do we tackle things, and when do we go? So I would say to you the 2 areas that we would tackle. One is evergreen webinars, where people, want to pretend their webinars are live even though they're not, right? Yeah. And they're played all the time. There's a couple of things that are, it's not a big lift, but for us to do, like the countdowns, the waiting rooms, there's just things that make it feel more that way that we'd have to do. And something like Riverside is a great webinar platform for podcasts. Kajabi is one for people who are public speakers, right? So these are companies with a small number of people for a very particular niche, right? Like Kajabi's been in business for almost 12 years, and they have a total of 17,000 customers, right? So they're not trying to replace Zoom. They're just saying, if you're a public speaker, we've built modules just for you. We didn't want to be that niche, but I just think we'll get to them, right? Okay. As we will. Right?
The other question, if I could go with one more. The other question is, I had a fellow who does quite a bit of experience with doing online presentations, and he was asking if he broke up into a room of people and they filled out forms, could he then bring them all back and he could see what they actually did?
If the forms are on a URL, which he controls, right? So as opposed to it being like a form in Zoom, right? Like take a survey, right? We're not providing that tool, but he could do a better version of that by building his own forms in a URL. And yes, he would have that. But we didn't go the poll survey because they're so limited, like Zoom is so limited in what you could do in that respect, right? They don't really work for people. But the answer is yes, but he would build it, not us.
Okay, so we could talk. So he could talk to you about that and how to do that, I assume, at some point.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. And again, it's not hard to do, right? I mean, so literally, he would build a website that the whole, like with a company like JotForms, right? And JotForms is a specialty where you can fill out a form one-to-one, you can fill out forms one-to-many. So that's what I'm saying. I would simply use a third-party URL that has it all built out.
Okay.
And then he could get real-time results, 100% of all of that stuff.
Okay, good. I was wondering if Pxch already has it, whether you would consider doing it, or was it something we might want to do in the field, which is there's these little things that come up sometimes when we're trying to help people with their browser or their computer. It has nothing to do with Pxch. It just has to do with connectivity issues. Whether we want to have a list of things that we could kind of like a shopping list, have you rebooted your computer? Are you sure you are on Chrome instead of Safari? Those kinds of things, simple things, but it's enough sometimes that throws people off that they can't get activity taking place, or they just can't even see the video when we pull it up. So I was just wondering if we at some point want to have like a list of people to quickly go to. So if we get hundreds and thousands of people, we're not doing it one at a time.
Yeah, and the truth is, the reason we can is, I would say to you, I always compare things to my chiropractor, right? The guy goes to school for 3 years to become a specialist, and after 3 years, he only has 3 moves. No matter what your condition is, it's the same 3 moves, right? Solves every problem. I don't care what you have a headache, it's his move. Backache, it's his move. Same 3, right? And I think it's the same thing with browsers, right? When most people can't get on, even though it can be a multitude of things, it's usually only one of those 3 things, right? So I think we can create a smart, checkup, right? Or from that perspective, and that's something that we can certainly do, right? Because it really isn't that complicated. And I know you gave me a great example the other day, right, where you did it, and I was so impressed. Right? Somebody was logging in, and it seemed like it was going to be so easy and obvious. They're on Google Chrome, boom, boom, boom. And then you suggested one of those 3 moves, right? And then boom, right? All of a sudden it worked. So
it worked,
yeah, we need to solidify that for sure. Yep. Okay.
He was joking me. He was joking me, Steve. It was worth the commission and the time it took to get his computer to work.
Exactly. Right. And that's why I say at some point, and not the too distant future, we will have an option where someone can download the software, right? Because the download the software solves every video and every camera issue that anyone will ever have, right? Because it's a technology's perspective, right? That's why Zoom pushes people relentlessly to download their app, right? Now, again, the average person will say for the first time, I'm not doing that. So that's why you don't want to lead with that. But to solve a problem for somebody who wants the software but is frustrated, I do think sometimes it's easier than troubleshooting, right? And simply do that. So we're going to have a couple of things, right? One, we'll have a dial-in service where people can phone in if they have an instant. Right? We want to solve problems 2 ways: instantly, so we're not spending 20 minutes trying to get them to resolve a problem, right? So what can we do that's a short-term instant solution, and then what is a longer-term solution, for those people? Now, anyone who's in Pxch, who's going to be hosting meetings all the time, sure, they'll download the software on their computer, right? Because they're vested, they're in it, right? And maybe if I say to them, you don't have to, but we can offer you this feature if you download the software, right? That we can only offer, if it's in an app, that perspective, the way Zoom does, right? Because Zoom browser does not offer all the same features as the Zoom app, right? Which is why they want to push people to do that. But like I say, those are the kind of fixes and refinements, over time that we absolutely have a plan for. But I can tell you that, Google Meets, which is also browser based that we are, right, has the same challenges, right? Even though they're the hugest company in the world with more money than God, they still have someone come on and get their camera to work, right? Because it's the nature of the browser, as opposed to there's something wrong with the software, in that perspective. But we'll get to it, So,
thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So Santa and then Charlie, does that work? Okay.
Three issues. One is
3. You're only allowed 2. Pick your best 2.
I have 3 now.
Okay.
One was with my avatars. Yesterday I had 7. Today I had 0.
Yes.
I bought some because I had to make an avatar. It didn't register, so I bought some more, and I got my avatar made. Now I have a negative 691.
Only 691.
Yeah, that's one issue. The other one
Okay.
is I set up a
So
meeting
you're asking me for a bigger negative. I could arrange that. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, and my money back.
Okay. And the truth
Okay.
is we'll do both. Yeah, I'm
I
just
know.
saying to
I'm
you,
not concerned.
yeah.
I know you're.
No, I know.
you're
Uh,
confused.
I
That's
know.
okay.
I know.
Just help me.
I know that you know that, yes, that the, so what you saw is sort of a live experiment for us. Those dollar figures weren't meant to be definitive. Credits aren't meant to be definitive, as we're just doing stuff behind the scenes, and we just needed to test it in a live environment. So again, same thing. If anyone needs any credits and stuff, don't worry. We'll take care of you. So second issue.
Second issue is I scheduled a very important meeting for 2:15 tomorrow, and the site erased it all. And I went to reschedule, and according to scheduling, my time slots were filled, and Rick gave me the workaround. So that,
Okay.
but again, if others have that issue, it's in the glitch as you're doing this.
Are you saying scheduling a meeting with me at 2:15, or just scheduling a
I
meeting for yourself?
I schedule a meeting with a car dealership tomorrow at 2:15 to sell him a car off his website.
Okay. I haven't had any reports, unless anyone else wants to share, of anyone having a scheduled meeting, so I don't know what happened in that instance. It could be something that we're doing. We're tweaking with the CRM connected to it. Maybe that bumped you out, so I apologize for that. But it's certainly not a systematic issue across the board.
Okay. Rick gave me a workaround, and we fixed it for tomorrow.
Okay. Finally, Rick made a contribution.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
And I can't remember the third one, so good. I'll just hang out. Bye.
See, my instincts were good, but I only gave you two. But if you can come back to it. Okay, Charlie, I'm sorry.
Oh, sure. Thanks. I was looking for where to download a transcript of a recording. I couldn't find it.
So when you click on open up the recording, hold on a second, let me see. I haven't done it in a while. Let me do it myself. Okay.
I was able to download the video and basically play it through my browser. Microsoft Play, whatever.
Let me see if I have a recording here, a transcript. Go to my media, my recordings. I think I have one from last night. Let me pop it open.
Steve, I didn't see if you saw I had my hand up also.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. We're not going anywhere. Here it is. So I'll show you. Now let me share. Okay. So let me go to screen, window, share. Okay. Okay. So you see right here where it says download PDF. Sorry, let me block that. So this is my AI meeting summary from last night. And here's the big black button.
How did you
download
open
button.
that? Well, so when
yeah, I'll show you what I did. Let me show you what I did, right? Wait a second, let me go to, so here's my recordings, right? All I did was I hit watch, which opened it up in my tab.
Watch. Okay, I was trying to figure out what the download button.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Pxch's Open House. My name is Harry Newhand.
So that easy. We're going to make that UX a little better. I've complained about that we need to separate the AI meeting summary from the recording, in the sense to make it easy. I mean, they thought they were making it easier for you that it would automatically be. But yeah, I want to make the AI meeting summary available in the meeting reports as a separate deal, so you don't have to do that. So your instincts are right that we're being a little clumsy in it, but it is there. And so what I did, just so you know, is I downloaded it as a PDF. I copy and pasted it. I put it into my Word document. I edit it because I tend to say things I don't want everyone to hear. I don't want to just share it right away, so I do a little tweaking, so even though it's a PDF, you can still copy and paste it and edit it.
It's the whole call, or is it?
It's not. It's a combination of both, right? Wherever it thinks it was important, it'll give you specifics, but it's summaries, it's actions, it's insights. It's not just a straight transcript.
Okay, we don't have straight transcripts because what I was doing is I uploaded a sales document, which is processes and then I told it's a Notebook LM, and then uploaded if it's a Zoom script, and said, I want you to extract the, the pain points, the this, the that, according to the sales program, and then write me an email, like give me the bulleted list, and then give me an email and give me a